Well, welcome back to the garden. It's bank holiday weekend now and I've been out plant shopping, looking for some filler plants. I came back with some coleus, a new euphorbia, some new heucheras and a beautiful agapanthus. This one is an agapanthus firework. It's almost ready to flower and I can't wait to see it when it's in full bloom. It should be a beautiful blue shade. I had to move some of the plants about in this border just to make a little bit of room, so I moved some of the salvias. I love the colour of the rhododendrons, but the trouble is that the flowers don't last that long, and once the flowers have disappeared, we're left with just shades of green again. So I thought moving the salvia here would give longer lasting colour in the border. I also planted out the plug plant of the pink china, as when I turned the pot upside down in the greenhouse, I realised that the roots were growing out of the bottom of the pot, so it was definitely time to get it in the ground. The garden is really filling out now with this extra heat from the sun, and I think the salvia looks really nice next to the red rhododendron. It's really colourful and there's loads of different shades now in the garden of greens, yellows, purples and lime greens. I planted the agapanthus in the triangular bed just outside the greenhouse next to a new euphorbia. I really liked this plant and it really sort of took me in when I saw it, and I thought I'd plant it there as I can see it every day when I go in and out of the greenhouse. It really is a spectacular plant and is already almost 1 metre tall. It's beautiful. I've also been busy inside the greenhouse replanting my tomato plants. These are the sweet millions and the cherry plum. I've got 6 of them all together, so I had to put one of them outside. These are now in their final sized pots. They have put on a lot of size lately, and also the kidney beans and the French dwarf beans have finally started coming through after I gave them a little bit more water. I think I was keeping them a little too dry. The ricinus are also growing taller. It won't be long now before these are put outside. The coleus, on the other hand, all I've got is one small plant. I never seem to get on with coleus. This is the second time I've tried to grow them from seed and I just don't get them to grow. There's a few things that I don't seem to get on with. One of them being Dicksonia antarctica tree ferns. I had one once, but I just didn't get on with it at all. I did everything I was supposed to do. I even overwintered it properly with straw in the crown and it just died away on me. And another thing I can't grow are fuchsias. I just cannot get them to grow. The view outside now from inside the greenhouse is stunning and I just can't stop looking at the new Yucca rostrata. It looks spectacular in the pot. I also potted up some carrots today. This is the first time I've grown these, and I also put the 2 pepper plants into their final pots. And I made 2 trellises for them out of bamboo canes and tied them together with string. I'm not sure how tall they're going to grow, but I don't think they'll outgrow these. As usual, Vim is just outside. He's very nosy and he's just watching what I'm doing inside the greenhouse. I planted the coleus along the front of the borders. I've never grown them before, so I hope they do well here. It's quite sunny. There's some lovely colours on these. They're really bright. I also trimmed back some of these ground cover plants as they were over covering the pathways. I bought these last year I only bought 2 plants and they were very small when purchased, but I've taken them up a few times and split and divided them and spread them throughout the garden. I've also planted some small Persicaria along the front of the borders, and this is the purple fantasy variety. These should grow quite large here. I also planted more coleus at the front of the border next to the Fatsia polycarpa. And also a few heucheras. This is the plant that I put in last week and it really fills the spot. It's looking much fuller now in the garden as you look down the pathway. I love all the different colours. Along the front of the borders, I like to plant some heucheras and also lots of different grasses. I love the way that they overhang over the pebbles. I love the leaf pattern on these Persicaria purple fantasies. The strawberries are also now in full flower. I also potted up this lovely geranium. It's a beautiful bright orange shade. This was the one from the greenhouse, but it was getting a little bit too hot in there, so I thought I'd pot it up and place it in the garden. The lovely shade looks beautiful against the greens, and it really brightens up the garden. Just look at all the different colours. Aren't they beautiful? There's a beautiful colour on this fern too, and this is now doing really well. These heart's tongue ferns are also doing well. They're in a lovely shady spot in the garden where the earth always seems to stay quite moist. So it's really perfect for ferns and they seem to thrive. I also grow this delicate ground cover plant called Mind Your Own Business. It grows well in shady areas such as underneath the grasses. Also for ground cover, I use ivy. I can trim this back as and when needed to keep it looking tidy, but it looks lovely at the front of borders and overspilling over the wooden edging. I bought these as small pots in the local garden centre, but they don't take long for them to spread out and fill in the gaps, and I use them in quite a few areas throughout the garden. They always do well, but they seem to do better in shady areas rather than in the sunshine. If it's too bright, it tends to scorch the leaves a little bit. But they do look nice dotted at the fronts, and also to cover awkward corners. I also swapped over 2 of the plants in the garden as the layering wasn't quite right. I've put the taller plants towards the back, and this shorter plant I've now moved forwards towards the edge of the pathway. It looks much better now. None of the planting in the garden was really planned, but I do find that sometimes as the plants grow that they're not really in the correct place, so most of the time it's okay to move them. I've also been busy underplanting some of the small trees that I have in pots. This is a fig tree here, and I bought this not long ago, but I didn't like looking at just bare earth in the pot, so I thought I'd plant something underneath. I got the idea from a local garden centre when I saw some of the trees there, so I also did the same with this small acer that I've got in a terracotta pot. This is growing quite well now. Last year it was only about 4 inches high. It was a tiny plant. Remember the Belfast sink that I cleaned up and potted up with herbs? Well, they have really taken off well. Just look at these now. Haven't they grown?